Hey guys, welcome to Otaku Talk. I'm your host OD, and we are talking about Dr. Stone chapter 196. And I really enjoyed this chapter. I'm not sure if I said this about last chapter, but this one was a tear jerker as well. Like, I really felt my emotions being like messed with, because I don't know about you, but I do really think it takes a certain kind of, personality, resolve, tenacity to know that you are most likely the only person in the entire world left alive. And to do that and still, have the, tenacity and the resolve to say, screw it, I'm going to keep working and fighting and try to fix this myself is incredible, because as humans, it really does seem like we can't get anything done on our own. Yes, we do have really exemplary, individual figures who do accomplish amazing things on their own. But as a society, as a civilization, as a people, as a race, nothing could ever have been done without us as humans coming together and getting it done. We wouldn't have survived, the caveman years without coming together and, being altruistic and, just working together. So this chapter really, did it for me. So I really want to talk about it. So without much further ado, let's get into it. If you're new here or you're, a reoccurring guest and you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe. But if anything at all, please hit the bell. Hit that bell. I'd appreciate it. Get notifications of my videos. I try to put them up every week. It would help me a lot. I need 12 more subscribers. 12 more. Please be within my first 100 subscribers. This is the beginning of something beautiful. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright guys, so what I love about this chapter, and as kind of uneventful as it was until the very end, and kind of like a continuation of the last two chapters in the aftermath of the massive Medusa going off, I think this is bar none an exemplary chapter of what this series is all about, what science is all about, and what Senku's ideology is all about. First of all, science is for everyone, but the main thing, and I'm pretty sure Senku said this I think he said this in the first chapter of the manga, the first episode of the anime, and that is, he says something to the effect of, science is just, or it's called science. Science is just a fancy name for the long, arduous, tenacious journey and process of trial and error. That's science. And I can be real with you, as a bio major, that's literally what science is. Everything we've ever learned as a society is just the culmination of, stepping stone after stepping stone after stepping stone, from the Pythagorean theorem to Newton to Galileo to Avogadro, and just all the other Hess's law, Boyle's law, this guy, that guy, blah blah blah. Every single person studied something, presented their findings, and then someone else read that person's stuff, and just we just build and build and build and build. And honestly, as much as science has kind of been hard for me, bio not really, but I was actually gonna get into this later, but chemistry has always been the bane in my side. But anyway, I just love how this manga makes me love and appreciate science. I've always loved and appreciated science, but I always had a bitterness towards it because of my career and the fact, like I said, that I've always struggled with chemistry. But I have always respected it, particularly physics. I really thought physics in itself is super interesting. But yeah, just watching the journey that Suica is going through is beautiful, because I said this in my last review, but running a laboratory experiment, retesting a scientific experiment, literally it's just following directions. Literally, science, like baking is science. Anyone can bake the same exact thing as long as they use the same exact ingredients with the same exact amounts. Now there's, some nuance, and there's, some, caveats, like for example, how well you mix and knead dough, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, essentially, anyone can bake anything as long as they have the same recipe book, use the same, they keep all the factors the same. And that's what we're learning here. And I'm honestly super impressed. Like, I can't get over how impressed I am with Suica, because you have to realize, first of all, she's doing this half blind, right? Suica has terrible eye vision, and from what it seems like, she still does have that helmet, and it does have a bit of her glasses, but it doesn't really truly look like she's using it. So I thought that's impressive. So she's literally struggling. She's literally struggling and knows that the entire fate of the entire world, and this is one of the few times you can actually say that the entire fate of the world is on her shoulders, and how quickly and how well she is able to recreate the revival fluid. And I'm super proud of her. It looks like they had reading classes, and she was able to learn how to read. And like, for someone that didn't know like anything, to just learn all these lessons so quickly, once again, is super impressive. So in my last review, I was super nervous about, how exactly are we going to do this? Are we going to conveniently have bats? A lot of the materials for the revival fluid are in different places. We're going to need fruits to make alcohol, ethanol, to mix the nitric acid with. We're going to need guano. Where are we going to find guano? It looks like, I have mad respect to Senku. It looks like he had everything kind of planned. It looks like he wrote down at least 3 different variations of how to make revival fluid. That's what I'm talking about. That's some Batman level like prep shit. Like, just in case, I'm going to give her numerous options. I'm going to let her try different things. These first 2 are the fastest, but they're also the most difficult. And I get that. Like, those first 2 are probably, like, if Chrome wasn't petrified, those first 2 are probably something Chrome could do, that Senku would do. But like, someone like me who sucks at chemistry, and once again, I just felt so bad for Suica, because I was seeing the like chemical equations and stuff, and I personally know how to write them, and I know how to derive them and all that stuff, and I don't wish that on anyone who doesn't really want to do it. I don't even really want to do it. I'm only doing it because it's even though like I'm a bio major, like 40 credits of my degree are bio and 30 are chemistry. Meanwhile, for chemistry majors, it's like 70 is chemistry and then like 4 is bio. I know, nutty, right? But going through all that, she did all the she did the first one, didn't work out for her. Did the second one, didn't work out for her. And it wasn't like she was rushing. Like, I'll be real with you, when I do lab class and stuff, I'm always rushing. We get like 4 or 5 hours in the lab, and basically however long it takes you to do your experiment is how long the class is. So, my ass was always trying to like, test 2, blah, 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 get this, trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, boom, I'm out. Because, when you're doing something you're not really passionate about, or you don't really want, you just trying to get it over with. But like, you could tell Suica like understood like what was on her, the amount of pressure that was on her, the seriousness of what was on her, and that literally she is the only one. Senku can't bail him out. No one can bail him out. It's on her to use what she's learned, use the information of her forefathers, and to bring people back to civilization. And it was a beautiful thing, and I'm glad things worked out. Like, I really do like the fact that Senku seemed to have like planned for everything with the instruction manual, with the two teams. Like, he had caveats. He had end game scenarios. All right, we have this revival team. Oh, that doesn't work. We have this revival team. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to keep the papers, the documents on me that will that have the knowledge to make revival fluid. And then she was able to find the seagulls, which, fun fact, I only thought guano was from bats. I didn't know that seagulls produce guano too. For those of you that don't know, guano is simply a term for any kind of poop or defecation that can be used for fertilizing. So apparently whatever the diets of seagulls and bats are conducive to fertilization and farming. So whatever, Suica is able to find it. And I just feel bad for her, because a lot of her experience was just collecting poop. And I know for like someone who doesn't understand science and whatnot, like, it's super confusing. Like, I would be like, bro, this is what is in the revival fluid, like poop. This is like what we're using. But like once again, you have to get into like the molecular formula and the empirical formula of like all these things, and like it's not poop, it's what's inside the poop, what elements make up the poop that in turn can be converted to turn into a new substance. Because once again, that's what science is. Science is super cool, being able to create different elements out of this element, and removing this from that to create this. It's a wonderful thing. And I said it once, I'm gonna say it again. This chapter really truly encapsulated the nature of science, the nature of the series, and Senku's ideals. And so basically, what I guessed earlier is, this wasn't something that I'm happy it went this way. If this was an issue that was resolved like that, I would have been like, all right, fuck this bullshit. Like, I still would have read the series, but it would have rubbed me the wrong way. There are things that happen in manga that we can all agree rub us the wrong way, but I'm glad that it took time. I'm glad that this wasn't a quick band-aid. Oh, I found this. I've never really done science a day in my life, but I was able to somehow slap together some stuff. No, Suica struggled. It took her 7 years to figure this shit out. She thought that, and I felt bad because, she thought that, okay, once she got to the third attempt, it said it was going to take her a year. We thought, okay, it'll take a year, maybe 2. No, she messed up. After the year, didn't work. After the other year, didn't work. Once again, what did we learn? Science is a struggle. Science is a journey. Science is it's the scientific method. You have to keep testing and trying different things and trying different variables. And sometimes, one of the things we did that I always hated in my chemistry classes and in my science classes in general were during our write-ups, we had to give our data, and then we had to write our conclusion. And in our conclusion, we always had to say, hey, we always had to give what our numbers, and then we had to give either what the numbers were supposed to be, or how close our numbers are to like the numbers given to by our instructor or whatever it is. And then if our numbers are not significantly statistically significant in terms of the numbers don't match up, we're supposed to say, okay, what do you think happened in your experiment that caused to these differing numbers? And so it's kind of like that, where I'm sure she followed the instructions to the best of her ability, but maybe she added too much, maybe she didn't have proper measuring stuff. Like, when it comes to, like, I'm dead serious, when it comes to science and chemistry, precision is king. Like, you even learn how to use like graduated cylinders, which are like these cylindrical cones, and you fill them with water, and you can't just read them anyway. You have to read them at what's called the meniscus, where like the little U forms, because otherwise, if you don't do it like that, you're getting the wrong time. You have to have accurate measurement devices. And let's be real, Suica doesn't have any of these things. And even Senku, when he was doing this, he at least had the knowledge to kind of know this measurement's right, this measurement's wrong. He at least could ballpark. He's that smart. Suica's doing this all from just like, I don't know about you, but if someone left me a chemistry textbook and told me, okay, make some nitric acid just out of what you see in the world, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do what Suica did. Maybe if the conditions were like I was the last man and like I had to do it or I was going to be alone, you bet your ass I would figure it out. But for the most part, like if it was just for shits and giggles or just something that I didn't have to, passionately focus in on, I couldn't have achieved this. So I don't know. It might sound a lot like me just going off on Suica and how proud of I am of her, but like, dude, I'm proud of her. I'm super proud of her. She's like the youngest. And I think that was a good choice on the mangaka's part for him to use the youngest member of the science kingdom, probably the least intelligent. Not really the least intelligent. We have people like Magma, but you get what I'm saying. And I also think that it's I think it's gonna be cool moving forward to see like, in this time she's been learning science. So, maybe she rivals Chrome or something in her understanding of science. I'm also curious to figure, to see like if she did any side projects outside of the revival fluid. 7 years is a long time. I'm kind of disappointed. It doesn't really look like the author changed up her appearance at all in terms. Well, when I say appearance, I'm not talking about her appearance. Clearly, she's grown, and I'm kind of nervous to see the simping for older Suiku, because she's probably a legal age now. So we'll see the those people, that side of the anime community. Yeah, long story short, let's just say I'm expecting some new fan art. But but yeah, I didn't really see a change of clothes. I thought, she would start. I thought she would at least do some things on her own, like create new clothes, maybe start build a mini shelter for herself. I don't know yet. We'll probably see that next chapter. But you have no clue how happy I was to see the sequence of Senku breaking free, and I'm just super excited for what's happening right now because now that Senku's free, once again, Suica did a great job, but now we can really catapult forward because we had someone who didn't know what they were doing, just doing their best. Now we have someone that actually, science is their shit. Now he's back in the reins. Now we're gonna get revival fluid like that. We can use methods 1 and 2, the fast methods. Once again, we still have to get back on track in our mission. Like before all this happened, we were on a journey to collect materials, and this really stifled us. Production and manufacturing in Corn City is at a halt because don't forget, that was supposed to be the location of the manufacturing for all the ethanol we were going to use to create enough revival fluid to revive everyone in the world. So yeah, man, there's a lot going on. Relatively short review just because, like I said, it was a straightforward chapter, but the content of the chapter was what made it gold. The fact that just in such a short time, the mangaka was able to invoke such a feeling in me of victory, of unison, solidarity, and the fact that she did it. I called it. I knew that there was going to be a bit of a time skip. There honestly might be another time skip. I doubt it, but I knew that what was happening wasn't something that was going to be resolved at the drop of a hat. I'm very curious to see the reactions of Senku in the next chapter when he talks to Suica. I'm curious to see how Suica has grown and matured as a person, what she's learned. I really hope that she's a scientist in her own right now, as of now, because more scientists the better, honestly. I can't wait for everyone else to be depetrified and get to interact with her and be surprised and shocked and all of that. I'm curious to see if who survived getting shot. Once again, I'm really hoping Tsukasa and Kohaku are fine. I don't think my spear dude is okay. What's his name? I always forget his name. But yeah, man, we have a lot to look forward to. This was a setup chapter. So some people might not have liked it. I like stuff like this. I like when you make me care about certain characters I necessarily didn't really care about before. Suica was cool. She was the mascot. She's kind of like the Chopper of the series, the cute, adorable, ha ha ha. But you don't really need her. But this is something that will be remembered for a time to come. What she did, really respectable. So yeah, that's all I really have to say on the chapter. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go delve too much more. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I know kind of a lackadaisical ending, but I felt like I had more to go on. But then I was like, it would just be me rambling at this point. But yeah, man, once again, just super impressed with her being able to read, write, the tenacity to persevere. I remember that one panel where it was like over and over and over and over. And honestly, that's how it was for Senku. And I think she's gonna have a lot more respect for him when they talk after he comes back. I think she's gonna be like, so this is what you suffered through, because you have to remember, once again, Suica wasn't a petrified, reanimated human being. She's a descendant of actually probably Senku, possibly Senku, of the astronauts that were in space at the time and came back to a petrified land. So yeah, take care.